Good morning, students. In today's session, I am going to solve some problems in which I find the value of the unknown quantity x. That means I am solving some equations. Equation means when you want to find the value of x here, you have to take both the sides of the equation into consideration. That means that the problems can be expected for either a 2-mark question. The problems which can be solved within 2 steps, 2 or 3 steps now can be expected for a 2-mark question, otherwise it's a 3-mark question. So here usually students they get confused. When we ask you to prove, then you have to start with the left hand side, show that it's equal to right hand side. When the question is asked for solve for x now, you have to take both the sides of the equation into consideration and applying the different properties of the inverse trigonometric function, we try to find the value of x here, which is the unknown quantity. Now, let me take up the first problem. Solve for x. Solve for x. So here, this problem, it's quite a simple problem. It can be expected for a 2-mark question. The problem is like this. Sine inverse of 1 by 5 plus cos inverse of x is equal to 1. Now look here, we are having sine of sine inverse 1 by 5 plus cos inverse x equal to 1. X, the unknown quantity, is present in only one position. So we use the properties and the definition of the inverse trigonometric function. Now this can be written as sine inverse of 1 by 5 plus cos inverse of x can be written as sine inverse of 1. That is, sine of something is equal to 1 means this function can be written as sine inverse of 1. And what is sine inverse of 1? It is a standard value whose value is 90 degree or pi by 2. So I can write this as sine inverse of 1 by 5 plus cos inverse of x is equal to pi by 2. Now at this stage I refer to a property, the property third one, the third set of property. In that one, first one, we know that because it has already been proved, we know that sine inverse x plus cos inverse x is equal to pi by 2. Now let us compare both the results here. See here, x should be seen in both the places. So sine inverse of a number plus cos inverse of the same number will always be equal to pi by 2. Look at this one. Same type of terms we are having. Sine inverse 1 by 5, cos inverse x equal to pi by 2. So here also we are having pi by 2, here also we are having pi by 2. So comparing this one, you can see that x should have the same value because x should be same in both the results here, both the terms here. Therefore, here also x should be equal to 1 by 5. So you can take this result as 1 and this result as 2. Now this is a proved result. This is what we have got from this particular problem. From 1 and 2, you can write from 1 and 2, we have x is equal to 1 by 5. Okay, so this is how we have to solve this problem, which is already given in one of the earlier examination and also which can be expected for a 2-mark question. Because we had already a standard result, comparing them we can get the value of the unknown quantity x here. Now let us move on to the second problem. Now in the second problem, it is again, it can also be asked for a 2-mark question only. 2 times tan inverse of cos x. 2 times tan inverse of cos x will be equal to tan inverse of 2 times cosecant x. Now this is the equation. Using this one, we have to get the value of the unknown quantity. 2 times tan inverse of cos x equal to tan inverse of 2 times cosecant x. Look here, we are having a function of the form 2 tan inverse x. As it is, we cannot cancel any function on both the sides of this one. The unknown quantity x is present on the left hand side as well as on the right hand side. So first what I do is, I again make a property, the last property, that is 2 tan inverse x. The fifth property, how do you express here? Tan inverse of 2x divided by 1 minus x square. Why I am writing like this is, here 2 times tan inverse is there, tan inverse of some function is there. So to have the same type of function on both the sides, so that you can cancel or eliminate some function, I make use of the property. So 2 tan inverse, in the place of x I am having cos x, that is the only difference. So how do you write this one? Tan inverse of, it is 2 times x, x means cos x, divided by 1 minus x square means it is cos square x. Okay, right hand side, tan inverse of 2 times cosecant x. So we have simplified. Tan inverse of something equal to tan inverse of some other function. That implies that the tan inverse function, neglecting that one, you can write 2 cos x divided by 1 minus cos square x would be equal to 2 times cosecant x. 2 times cosecant x. Now again that 2 can be cancelled, or cancellation is nothing but dividing both the sides by the same number. So now let me write the remaining function. Write that cos x as it is, denominator 1 minus cos square x. What is that one? Using the first identity, I can write it as sin square x, and the right hand side you write it as it is. It is cosecant x. Now even now we cannot get the value of x. So again some modification here. Write cos x, denominator, there are two functions sin x. So sin square x I am writing it as sin x into sin x. Write the right hand side as it is. It is cosecant x. Now cos x by sin x, you write it as together. Write them together. Cos x into cos x by sin x, and here this is sin x, what I am having on the left hand side, I am taking it to the right hand side, that is I am cross multiplying. Or you can do one thing, 1 by sin x, cosecant x can be cancelled also. Instead you can take sin x to the right hand side. Now cos x by sin x, what is that one? Cot x. And sin x and cosecant x, as you know that they are called as the reciprocal ratios whose product is always equal to 1. Therefore, we get an equation cot x equal to 1. Now, cot x equal to 1, then what can be the value of x here? X should be equal to pi by 4. X has gotten, x is a value, it's an angle there. Cot x equal to 1 means, you know that cot of 45 degrees is equal to 1, which implies that x is equal to pi by 4, or you can write it as 45 degrees. Even this problem has been asked for a 2 mark question in the earlier examination. Now let me move on to some more next problem. So each problem, some property or the other we have to use to simplify, then you can get the value of the unknown quantity. Now let me take the next problem. Tan inverse of 1 minus x over 1 plus x. Tan inverse of 1 minus x over 1 plus x. This is equal to half of tan inverse x. Half of tan inverse x. Here x being a positive quantity, x being a positive number. Here again, one method is, you can take 2 to the left hand side, apply the previous property what I made use, 2 tan inverse x equal to 1, 2x tan inverse of 2x over 1 minus x square, then you can compare. That becomes a little bit cumbersome procedure. So what I do is, I use the property and write this in a simpler way, so that easily you can get the value of x. Look at the left hand side. I rewrite that in another way so that I can make use of a property. That is 1 minus x over 1 plus x I am writing 1 into x, that is equal to half of tan inverse x. Now look at the left hand side. So using the fourth property, what does it say? Tan inverse x minus tan inverse y equal to tan inverse of x minus y over 1 plus x into y. In the place of x is 1, in the place of y is x. So I can use that property and rewrite this as tan inverse of 1, that is x, minus tan inverse of y, that means here it is x. Right hand side, half of tan inverse of x. Look here, it was a little bit complicated function. Now you observe it is a constant. It is free from x here. So this is also tan inverse x and this is also tan inverse x. I can take them together, then finally I can get the value. Now tan inverse 1, as you know, is a standard value, pi by 4. Now shift it to the right hand side. That is tan inverse x plus half of tan inverse x. Half of tan inverse x. So keep this constant as it is. The unknown quantity has come to one side of the equation. Therefore, I can write this as pi by 4. Write it as it is. Now, take the tan inverse x as common factor. What is remaining? It is 1 plus half. Or directly you can add also 1 and half, that is 3 by 2. If you find difficult, take that tan inverse x as the common factor and then you can add the numbers here. That is tan inverse of x into this becomes 3 by 2. Or I can write it as pi by 4 would be equal to 3 by 2 into tan inverse of x. So it is now this is the only term having the unknown quantity x here. Now take this number to the other side. So this can be written as tan inverse x equal to, when you cross multiply, 2 goes to the numerator. So pi by 4 and 3 comes to the denominator. That is, we are having like this. It is pi by 4 into, it becomes 2 by 3. You can do the cancellation. 2 ones are 2 twos are, that would be equal to 3 twos are 6. Therefore, tan inverse x equal to pi by 6. What does it imply? X is equal to tan of pi by 6. See, we have arrived at a standard angle here. X is equal to tan pi by 6. What is pi by 6? Pi by 6 means 30 degree. Tan 30 degree. What is the value of tan 30? It is 1 over square root of 3. Therefore, the value of x in this particular problem is 1 by root of 3. Okay. So this is the procedure we have to adopt. So wherever it is possible to make use of the properties, you have to look at the function, then you have to decide. You cannot simply, there is no common method for all the problem. You have to look at the function that has been given. According to the function that is given, you have to select you have to apply the particular property which could be applied to that particular problem. Now, usually the first two problems what I worked out, they can be expected for a 2-mark question. Sometimes this is given for a 3-mark question because it has got more of calculation. Now, let us move on to the next problem. Next problem is also a repeated problem in the earlier examination, which can be given for a 3-mark question again. Here also we are solving, we are making use of again a property only. That is tan inverse of 2x plus tan inverse of 3x is equal to pi by 4. Equal to pi by 4. Now this is the question. So where is x is present on the left hand side? Both the terms are containing the unknown quantity x here, and it is you can directly apply the property. It is of the form tan inverse x plus tan inverse y, the fourth set of property. So let me apply that property and simplify the left hand side. So here we will be forming an equation in x, then we will be solving that. Tan inverse of x plus y, that is 2x plus 3x divided by 1 minus x into y, that is 2x into 3x. This is equal to pi by 4. Now let me simplify. Now tan inverse of this function is equal to pi by 4. What does it imply? That is the function 2x plus 3x, or the term 1 minus 2x into 3x could be written as tan of pi by 4. Tan of pi by 4. Now tan of pi by 4 being a standard value, you can write the actual value. Left hand side also do the arithmetical calculation. 2x plus 3x, that would be equal to 5x divided by 1 minus 2 3s are 6x square. Now the value is 1. So instead of having the trigonometric function, now we have got an algebraic equation. So and we can solve the algebraic equation, which is nothing but a quadratic equation, which you are familiar in your high school classes itself. Now let us cross multiply. Let us cross multiply. We have 5x equal to 1 minus 6x square into 1, that would be 1 minus 6x square. Now let me take all the terms to one side only. Shifting them to the left hand side, they change their signs. 6x square plus 5x minus 1 equal to 0. Clearly you can see that it is a quadratic equation. What's the procedure? One method is either you can apply the formula x is equal to minus b plus or minus root of b square minus 4ac over 2a. That is one method. Otherwise you can you can get the value by doing the factorization, that is factorizing this one. Look at the number here, 5x plus 5x, 6 into minus 1 is minus 6. So you have to split it into two terms here. So that the product would become minus 6 and the sum would be equal to plus 5. How could you do that one? You can write it as 6x square plus 6x minus 1x minus 1 equal to 0. Look here, 6 minus 1 is plus 5 and 6 into minus 1 is minus 6. So it will satisfy both the condition. Now grouping this one, we can get, take out the common factor 6x, it becomes x plus 1. Out of these two, minus 1 is a common factor. When both of them are negative, taking out minus sign, both the terms become positive. Now x plus 1, take that common factor. So this is nothing but factorization. And what is other factor? 6x minus 1 equal to 0. So we got a product equal to 0. So whenever a product is 0, any one of the term may become 0. That implies that either x plus 1 equal to 0 or 6x minus 1 equal to 0. Either the first may be 0 or the second may be 0. So that implies that either x is equal to minus 1 or x is equal to 1 by 6. So these are the two values which can be substituted, and we can show that the left hand side is equal to right hand side. Either x would be equal to minus 1 or x would be equal to 1 plus 1 by 6. Okay. Now let us move on to the next problem. Here go through this problem correctly, and I told you this is a repeated problem. Many examinations for a 3-mark question. Here for simplifying, using the property of the inverse trigonometry function to arrive at the equation, quadratic, usually 1 mark is allotted. And afterwards solving and getting two values of x here, 1 mark for each value of x usually assigned in the examination. Now in the next problem also we are making use of the same property, that is solve for x here. Tan inverse of x minus 1 over x minus 2 plus tan inverse of x plus 1 over x plus 2. This would be equal to pi by 4. Again the right hand side is pi by 4, but the left hand side, in the previous problem it was a little bit easy because we had only one term, 2x, and in the second function we had 3x. So directly we could add them and multiply them. Whereas here you observe each function inside the bracket is in the form of a fraction. So while taking the addition and multiplication, whatever it is, you have to be careful when you take the LCM and simplify the function. But the same property I am using here, tan inverse of x plus tan inverse of y, the first result of the fourth set of property. So let me use the property here, tan inverse of, here write it correctly, x plus y, x means x minus 1 over x minus 2, plus y, that means x plus 1 over x plus 2. Here write it a little bit lengthier, 1 minus x into y, x minus 1 over x minus 2 into x plus 1 over x plus 2. Now right hand side you write it as it is. Okay, so tan inverse of x plus y over 1 minus x into y. I am using the same property, but here the functions are little bit complicated. I mean the terms inside the bracket are little bit complicated. So you have to be careful about the arithmetical calculation what we do inside the bracket here. So the whole of this can be written as tan of pi by 4. Tan inverse of something equal to pi by 4 means this function could be written as tan of pi by 4. So let me write that one. X minus 1 over x minus 2 plus x plus 1 divided by x plus 2 whole thing divided by 1 minus x minus 1 by x minus 2 into x plus 1 by x plus 2 is equal to tan of pi by 4, which is equal to 1, which is a standard value. Now here on the left hand side we have to take the LCM for both the numerator and denominator. What is the LCM? It is the product of the denominators, because we are having two different denominators. X minus 2 into x plus 2 is the LCM. What's the procedure? Divide the LCM by this number, this gets cancelled. X plus 2 into the corresponding numerator, x minus 1 into x plus 2. Applying the same procedure, when you divide, this is cancelled, x minus 2 into the corresponding numerator, x plus 1. Now denominator also, the LCM is same, x minus 2 into x plus 2. But we are having 1 here, so it is 1 into this one, that means x minus 2 into x plus 2 minus of x minus 1 into x plus 1. Now this is equal to 1. First you cancel the LCM. In each step you do only one calculation. Then you will not be committing any mistake. Now after cancellation of the LCM of both the numerator and denominator, let me rewrite the remaining terms. It is x minus 1 into x plus 2 plus x minus 2 into x plus 1 whole thing divided by x minus 2 into x plus 2 minus of x minus 1 into x plus 1, this is equal to 1. Now it is only multiplication, multiply them, this one, this and this. So x into x, that is x square minus 1x plus 2x minus 2. To the plus is there, directly you can write, plus x square minus 2x plus 1x minus 2. Whole thing divided by, this is of the form a minus b into a plus b, that is a square minus b square, that is x square minus 4. But here you write inside the bracket, because in between we are having a minus sign. Same algebraic formula, a minus b into a plus b, a square minus b square, this is equal to 1. Now wherever it is possible to cancel, let us do the cancellation. Plus 2x and minus 2x, minus x and plus x. Now let me add the remaining terms. X square plus x square, that is 2x square, minus 2 minus 2, that is minus 4. Denominator, let me remove the brackets, x square minus 4 minus of x square minus of minus plus 1 is equal to 1. So whenever you have a minus sign, if there are more than one term, always you use the bracket because all the terms should be multiplied by the minus, and you have to be careful about this one. In the denominator, plus x square minus x square, again they get cancelled. Now finally we can get the value of the unknown quantity x. So numerator is 2x square minus 4. Denominator minus 4 plus 1 is minus 3, that is equal to 1. Now let me cross multiply. 2x square minus 4 is minus 3 into 1, that is minus 3. Now this is a constant, let me take it to the right hand side. That is 2x square equal to minus 4 becomes plus 4 minus 3. 4 minus 3, that is equal to 1. Therefore, 2x square equal to 1, what does it imply? X square is equal to 1 by 2. Now we have got a quadratic equation. Therefore, there are two values of x. How do you find it? It is plus or minus 1 by square root of 2. Okay, these are the two values. So in this problem also, we got a quadratic equation. In the previous problem also, we got a quadratic equation. We got two values. Here also, numerically they are same but of different signs. One is plus 1 over square root of 2. The other one is minus 1 over square root of 2. Now, in almost all these problems, we made use of the properties directly. That is, it may be fourth property, second property, whatever may be the property, to simplify the function to arrive at the value of the unknown quantity. Now in the next problem, directly we are not using any property. We will rearrange the function, then try to get the value of the unknown quantity. Because in this one I am not having any tan inverse function. It is given in terms of sine inverse. Now let me solve this one. Sine inverse of 1 minus x minus 2 times sine inverse x is equal to pi by 2. Is equal to pi by 2. So as it is directly, I cannot apply any formula, any property I mean. So what I do is, I will rearrange the terms here and try to get the value of the unknown quantity. Now, first step is, I shift this negative term to the right hand side. That is, sine inverse of 1 minus x. Keep it on the left hand side. That would be equal to pi by 2 plus 2 times sine inverse of x. Carefully understand the problem. Sine inverse 1 minus x. I have written it on the left hand side. I have shifted to minus 2 sine inverse x to the right hand side. So here sine inverse of something is equal to pi by 2 plus some function, some real number will be getting, you will be getting there. How do you write this one? Use the definition of the inverse trigonometry function. So this 1 minus x could be written as sine of the right hand side. That is sine of pi by 2 plus 2 times sine inverse x. See, because we know that if x is equal to sine inverse y, how do you write this one? Y is equal to sine x. I am using the basic thing here. See here, sine inverse of something is equal to some function means that 1 minus x could be written as sine of the right hand side. So I am making use of that property here. Now 1 minus x. You know that sine of, again I go back to first year PUC trigonometry. I am using the allied angle. We know this result also. Sine of pi by 2 plus theta is equal to cos theta. Isn't it? That is pi by 2 plus theta. Which quadrant does it come? It comes in the second quadrant. And you know that in the second quadrant, sine is positive. And also, because I am using pi by 2 here, function will be changed over to co-function. I am using that property here. Sine 90 plus theta is equal to cos theta. Look at the right hand side. Here, pi by 2 plus theta. this is nothing but an angle. As you know that the inverse trigonometric function always denotes an angle here. So pi by 2 plus some angle we are having. So sin 90 plus theta, I can write it as cos theta, or I can write this as cos of, this omit pi by 2, only this one you can write, cos of 2 sin inverse x. That is, you can quote this result. Here you can quote this result, because we already know that this result has to be quoted in the working column, because we know that sin 90 plus theta is equal to cos theta. I am using that property, that rule of allied angle. Sin pi by 2 plus theta is cos of 2 sin inverse x. Whatever is given in the place of theta, I have taken it here, cos of 2 sin inverse x. Now again we know this result also, multiple angle formula. Cos of 2 theta, as you know that it is 1 minus 2 sin square theta. Cos of 2 theta has got 3 expansion. One is cos square theta minus sin square theta. Another is 2 cos square theta minus 1. The third one is 1 minus 2 sin square theta. That can be used directly. If you find difficult, what I do is, in the working column, let me make an assumption. Let sin inverse x, just to identify with the result I am writing this one. Now let sin inverse x be equal to theta, then x would be equal to sin theta. Okay. Now let me simplify only the right hand side, cos of 2 theta, so that I can make use of, you can identify this with the result and substitute, otherwise you may find it difficult. Now cos of 2 theta, how do you write here? It is 1 minus 2 sin square theta. So here you quote this result, cos of 2 theta is equal to 1 minus sin square theta. But what is sin theta? It is x. Therefore, I can write 1 minus x equal to 1 minus 2x square. So ultimately this is what I wanted. I wanted an equation in the unknown quantity. Therefore, now the value is, the equation is 1 minus x equal to 1 minus 2x square. You just see that here we have got, we have eliminated the inverse trigonometric function, and also we have got a quadratic equation in the unknown quantity x here. So 1 minus x equal to 1 minus 2x square, because in this particular problem we could not apply any property directly. So what I have made use of, I have made use of the allied angle result and also compound the multiple angle formula to arrive at an equation which is free from any trigonometric function. Now this 1 can be cancelled, that implies that 1 and minus sign can be cancelled, that is equal to x is equal to 2x square. Now usually we have the habit of cancelling. That cancelling can be done only when you are simplifying a function. Otherwise, if you cancel, one root may be eliminated. So let me take both the terms to one side. 2x square minus x equal to 0. We will do the factorization. Factorization means taking out a common factor. It is x into 2x minus 1 equal to 0. So product is 0 means either x would be 0 or 2x minus 1 would be equal to 0. That is, one value is x equal to 0, another value is x is equal to half. Usually they don't ask you to verify the result here. Now in this particular problem I got two values here. If you let me verify whether both the values would satisfy the given equation or not. Suppose I give here x is equal to 0. Let me see whether the left hand side would be equal to right hand side. That is, when you give x equal to 0 here, when x is 0, let us see whether the LHS would be equal to RHS. If they are equal, only then we can say it is the solution of the equation. Now put x equal to 0 wherever it is present. It is 1 minus 0 minus 2 into sin inverse 0. This should be equal to pi by 2, isn't it? Now this is sin inverse of 1 minus 2 into, what is sin inverse of 0? It is 0, that is equal to pi by 2. Now 0 into anything is 0. What is sin inverse 1? that is nothing but pi by 2 is equal to pi by 2. So here when you substitute x as 0 here, we are getting the left hand side equal to right hand side. So I can say that x is equal to 0 is a solution. Suppose you give x is equal to half. Usually they don't ask you to verify x is equal to half. Suppose I give here x is equal to half. X is half. Let us see what happens here. Sin inverse of 1 by 2 and then here again sin inverse of 1 by 2. Sin inverse of 1 minus 1 by 2 minus sin inverse of 1 by 2. 1 minus 1 by 2 means half again. Sin inverse of half minus 2 into sin inverse of half. You know that sin inverse of half is a standard value 30 degrees. I can write pi by 6 minus 2 into pi by 6. That is 2 ones are 2 threes are. That is what is we are having now? Pi by 6 minus pi by 3. If you add them, it becomes pi by 2. We are subtracting, it becomes minus pi by 6. This is certainly is not equal to pi by 2. So what is the solution here? Though we got here two values, x is equal to 0 is the only solution which will satisfy the given function, given equation. So in this problem, though there are two solutions, yeah, I told you already they don't ask you to verify. Now the x is equal to 0 is the only solution for this particular equation. So these are the problems I've taken from your present textbook, and most of the problems have been asked in the earlier examination, either for a 2-mark question or 3-mark question. The first 2-3 problems, now usually they are given for a 2-mark question. The remaining problems, so you can expect it for a 3-mark question, that is in part C. Part B means 2-mark question, part C means it is a 3-mark question. Now this completes the almost all the problems of this particular chapter. But in first year PUC, you have studied about the graphs of the trigonometry function. Here, I just want to show you the graphs of the inverse trigonometry function. This is only for the information's sake. So I am drawing the graph now. You just observe how the graph would be. Usually in the examination, they have not asked for this one, but you should have an idea how the graphs would look of this particular inverse trigonometric functions. Yes, I told you just now that I will be giving you the graphs of the inverse trigonometry function. Look at this one. First one is y equal to sin inverse x. So you have learnt about the graph y equal to sin x, which is the sine wave what we say. In this one, what's the domain of the function? It is minus 1 to plus 1, which would be on the x-axis, and the values would be, the values of y would be on the y-axis. So here the graph looks like this one. It is again another wave like graph only, but here what is the principal value branch? It is minus pi by 2 to plus pi by 2. So I have darkened that part here. So this is how the graph will look like. Now come to the next one, cos inverse x. Here also, as you know, the domain is minus 1 comma plus 1. It's a closed interval. Whereas, what is the principal value branch? It is 0 to pi. 0 to pi, the closed interval 0 to pi. Hence, I have darkened this one. Here also this look, but depending upon the values, now here it is passing through the origin, whereas here it is passing to the number 1 here, according to the values of the standard values here. What is cos inverse 0, what is cos inverse 1, what is cos inverse minus 1. Same thing here, sin inverse 0, sin inverse 1, sin inverse minus 1. I have given the value according to this one, and this darkened part now, that is the principal value branch. Otherwise, if you take the whole thing now, the curve looks like this. Now come to the tan inverse function here. It is, see, it is minus pi by 2 plus pi by 2. That is the open interval we are considering. Of course, x takes the real value here. The domain is the set of the real numbers, whereas the range is minus pi by 2 plus pi by 2. That is an open interval. That is why it doesn't touch it. This one, the darkened part is the principal value branch of the graph here. So the remaining part would be looking like this. Suppose you take the other interval, minus 3 pi by 2 plus minus pi by 2, it will be looking like this. The shape would be same, but it would be in different places. Or plus pi by 2 to plus 3 pi by 2, the curve looks like that. The shape would be there, only the position would be changed. Same thing here, 0 to pi, it would be like this. Suppose you take here pi to 2 pi, it would be continuation of this one. Or below this one, if you take 0 to minus pi, it would be a part of this one. Same thing here also, minus pi by 2 plus pi by 2, I have taken this part. Suppose you take it as pi by 2 to 3 pi by 2, the curve would be from here to here. Or if you take it as on the negative side, minus pi by 2 to minus 3 pi by 2, the curve would be like this. Shape wise it would be same, the position of the curve would be different from one part to another part. It moves. Generally it looks like this, because you should have an idea how the graph would look like. Similarly, we can draw the graphs of the other three functions also, like secant inverse x, cosecant inverse x, and also cot inverse x. Now this completes all types of problems on this particular chapter, that is in the chapter 2 inverse trigonometric function. We have started with the definition of inverse trigonometric function, the definition of the principal value, and how, and using the properties, how to find that there are 5 sets of properties here. In each set they got different results here. Using all of them, we know how to find the principal value when x is negative or positive, or the other property, that is how to simplify a given function, how to prove a certain result, or how to express in the simplest form. Finally, how to find the value of the unknown quantity, in other words, the solution of the inverse trigonometric function. So using all the different properties, we have worked out different types of problems. So this completes the second chapter, which is the inverse trigonometric function. In the coming sessions, we will be starting the next chapter, that is matrices. Okay, so we will be continuing in the next session about the next chapter, that is the third chapter. Thank you.